A contest born in 1909. Many a tale to tell over the years, and Arsenal lead by 4. But for at least 6 of today's participants, a new experience awaits. In the Arsenal side, 2 Frenchmen, Grimandi and Petit, and a Dutchman, Mark Overmars. The side is unchanged from Wednesday's little to-do at Leicester. The big news for Spurs, and indeed for England, is the early return of Sol Campbell, and his replacement of the suspended Colin Calderwood is the only change from Wednesday. Their debutants, all English, Scales, Clements and Ferdinand. A fitting day for breaking records, or has he had enough column inches this week? A day for quality, hopefully. A day for youth, perhaps. Or indeed a day for boyhood dreams fulfilled. Les Ferdinand now playing for the team he supported as a boy. The referee is our regular Saturday man, it seems, on Match of the Day at the start of the season, Gary Willard from Worthing in West Sussex. If you don't know the colours of the 2 teams by now, where have you been? Steve Boulder had to pass a fitness test and can happily let the ball run out of play. And just for the record, on this 121st derby, this gentleman, Steve Carr, is 21 today. Edinburgh following Bergkamp. Bergkamp gets himself in the right position and then looked as though he's being held. Play allowed to continue. Good judgment, and Campbell who put it over with right waiting. Good play by Dennis Bergkamp, showing that he has strength as well as skill. Overmars to take the corner. Bowled up on the near edge. Launch was by Campbell. Fowler, Sinton to him. Vieira. This is bold. Hit the post. Looked as though it might be going out of his reach, but he stretched from Grimondi's cross, and it came back off the foot of the post, having been deflected. Not a curl, but straight into the waiting hands. Bergkamp, Dixon. Tottenham just unable to put anything together because they've insufficient possession of the ball. Bergkamp, this time he's got Scales in his back. Came more off his shin than he meant, but he used it well as a result of it. Petit. Winterburn. Overmars. Bergkamp going across the Tottenham defence, which is very well manned in numbers at least. Right. Oh, it's a great turn, and caught by Edinburgh, and it'll be looking. Skill of Wright, and the speed and balance of the turn, and Edinburgh just knocked him down. Now Bergkamp, 5 goals in the last 2 games. T is the other player involved, and Overmars actually on the ball. It's Bergkamp, came back off the wall, which had already broken. Winterburn, long way round. Good angle of pullback, and Vieira manages to get to it. Overmars! Off the crossbar! He really couldn't have hit it better. Goalkeeper well beaten. Back off the woodwork. Foul. touch by Gray's son. Wright and Sinton. Foul by Wright. Well, he hasn't seen too much of the ball, and he wanted to check to make his name with that. And the crowd are not going to be happy here. Just was over-aggressive. Simple as that. Push there, he was held off a bit. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, and I mean, it falls out of play. First touch for Dominguez, not the easiest one to be given. Bergkamp, right. Bergkamp fouls, he tried to go onto the ball. Bergkamp protesting the referee, who'd already blown his whistle. Foul was by Kemble. Referee wants the ball back slightly further. So it makes it easier for Bergkamp. Good strike! Deflected by the goalkeeper and up onto the crossbar. Offside right. Struck it beautifully, and by having to pull the ball back a bit, he had a little bit more room, really hit it well, and the goalkeeper, Ian Walker, got a touch of it, and the crossbar did the rest. David Howells. Dominguez first chance. Rolled off Vieira. Pulled down by Dixon. And suddenly Arsenal in the position of being the biter's bit. Very low centre of gravity. Everson at the back. Somewhat overhit. Trying to find some room, too short from Fox, but here's Howells. Oh, that's a wonderful save! Well, a couple of England goalkeepers showing their worth in quick succession. Out by Petit. Plenty waiting for Spurs. Well claimed. And here's Bergkamp. 2 behind him, 1 in front of him, who is Ian Wright. Carl might have gone in for that, but in the end he's glad he didn't. But all credit to David Seaman. He's been a spectator for most of the match, in fact all the match, and he produces a save like that. Brilliantly pulled down by Wright. But the pass between Overmars and Bergkamp. Fowler. Bergkamp. Right, real chance! Oh, I don't believe it. 4 times. Tottenham collectively must have been touching the lucky horseshoe yesterday. Walker beaten, underside of the crossbar, and still he's short of Cliff Bastin's record. The name of Ian Wright echoing around Highbury. Here's Fox. Oh! It's a corner. David Seaman very relieved to find that landing on top of the netting. Campbell on the near edge of the 6-yard area. Ferdinand comes in behind. Goal kick. Ferdinand complaining that his shirt was full. Those sitting on the north bank not too impressed. advantage played by the referee. Bergkamp, Dixon, foul by Edinburgh, among those two have been booked. This will be a dismissal. Dixon went past him, Edinburgh stretched, and there can be no question now. The moment the referee decided that he would show that one, he had to show that one. Spurs down to 10 men. Justin Edinburgh sent off for his second yellow card. He was beaten for pace, he arrived late. And Mr. Willard sends him for the early bath. Bergkamp takes, out by Ferdinand, then by Howells. Away by Campbell, the referee's allowed a minute of stoppage time. And the time comes to catch the breath. An amazing half. Arsenal hitting the woodwork 4 times, 5 players booked, 1 sent off. And yet it might be argued, although Bergkamp was among the unlucky ones to be denied by the woodwork, that this man made the best save of the half from David Howells. But Tottenham will not believe it's 0-0, and Arsenal certainly won't. Two substitutions by Spurs at the start of the second half. The Dane Alan Nielsen comes on, as does Gary Mabbott. Second match back after missing the whole of last season after breaking his leg in the opening match. And the two to go off are Roel Fox and Stefan Everson. So it's batten down the hatches as far as Tottenham are concerned. Clements starting on the left side, from whence Edinburgh has departed. Gary Mabbott has reassumed the captain's armband. What do we have to do to score? Just might be going through his mind. Manu Petit looking for Dixon, but he's looked too far ahead, I think. Covered by Clements. Given only to Petit. Bergkamp, here is Wright. Can't get round Sol Campbell, good defending. Chance for him though to get the one, if not the two. First match and then beat Jeff Basted. Vieira. Petit. Dominguez. Overmars. Support from Winterburn. Far post is Bergkamp. That's right! Got it quite beautifully. Good cross. Well, round scale straight into the arms there of the waiting Walker. It's certainly not unknown, but at the moment 10 doing better than 11 had. Another nice play, another nice touch by Parla. That's a good ball too to Bergkamp. Right far post, well cut out. Good break, and again started with a delightful touch by Ray Parla. Showing the sort of finesse that it's a tendency to feel only continental players have. Here he is again. Bergkamp gone for the return, Parla blocked by Scales. This is Vieira. This is Wright. Corner. a considerable test. Twelfth corner. Launch by Vieira. Out by Clements. Only to Parla. Long since settled for a point, and understandably, Spurs manager. Flat. Winterburn. Flat has taken a good position forward. Here he is. That's nice. Winterburn. Anelka. Up comes Dixon. Flat. Right! Unreal. Best chance of the second half by a distance. And would you believe he put it over? To be said that if Arsenal were unlucky in the first half, and they certainly were, Tottenham have deserved what luck has been going in the second period, because they've defended really well. Bergkamp, Anelka, right! Good challenge. Sol Campbell helped out in the end by David Howells. Who played it in. For a moment then he looked as though he'd got it. It was a really good stretch. And then the extra touch of the ball took it away from Wright. Bergkamp with Scales. Wright is on the penalty spot. Trickery by the youngster. Out by Howells. To Winterburn. Forces over miles away. Good stuff from Tottenham. They're making it so difficult. Dumondi, and that's the result. Frustration comes in. The shot comes from a long way out. You compare that with the way that Arsenal were playing at the start of the match, when Ian Walker's goal was rattled 4 times. And this is a match in which Arsene Wenger would like about as much stoppage time as they had on Wednesday at Leicester. Vieira. Right, left, Bergkamp right. Right, away from Campbell, not away from Mabbutt. Bergkamp. And still, no. Couldn't keep it out. Not a memorable finish, but certainly a memorable match. 0-0, but absolutely fascinating. Jerry Francis' team deserving what they set out to do in the second half, after Arsenal had been unbelievably unlucky in the first period. Ian Wright among the players who hit the woodwork a total of 4 times. Brilliant stuff from Arsenal at the beginning, but 10 Tottenham players manfully defended in the second half, and in the end deserved the point which they take away from Highbury. But many Arsenal supporters will not believe what they've seen. Their team could have been 4 up at half-time, and in the end they failed to score. Among them Ian Wright, still 1 short of Cliff Bastin's record.
I thought we deserved to win today, not just because they went down to 10 men, which is unfortunate, but I thought we played really well in the first half.
I think you murdered them in the first half, at least for half an hour.
Well, that's all right for you to say, but you know, I might not be able to say that and get away with it.
The first half performance, I thought Arsenal were magnificent. They took the game to us, and we were rather fortunate on 2 or 3 occasions when the woodwork saved us. But losing Justin just before half-time, we had to change it at half-time. We came out and he brought myself and Alan Nielsen on. Really, he had to take a couple of players off just purely for tactical reasons. In the second half, our aim was to frustrate them, which I thought we did. And in the end, I felt second half we worked hard enough to get the point.
You must be tempted to start with 10 men next time, because, I mean, they were much better than your 11, weren't they?
They were. I mean, I was very disappointed at half-time and, you know, said so, but at that stage we're down to 10 men. And the one thing they do, they keep the ball very well, and they could have really made us, our 10 men, work so hard that they could have opened up spaces. So we had to play a certain way and keep Les and maybe Dominguez, you know, on the break. And certainly we did a lot better, and we earned what we got second half.
The quality of our game in these last 2 games was very good. And that's why we can go on and be very positive, because we lost 1 point in the last second of extra time against Leicester, and we're a little bit unlucky today. So, but the quality was there, and on long term the quality pays always.
I'm not going to take you back to last Wednesday, but I do have to ask you about your challenge on Andy Sinton. What the hell was all that about?
I slipped, sir. No, it was just one of those where the ball was
off the pitch.
The ball was running out. We was both off the pitch, and, you know, I just slipped off with him. You know, it was unfortunate, because Andy would have got up normally. Addy not twisted his ankle, and he did get up and he did say to me, right, I twisted my ankle. It was nothing to do with you, you know. So that was nice, because I know Andy pretty well. I don't want to hurt him.
But I hate to tell you this, but a tackle from behind is a mandatory booking these days.
Yes, I've heard, but, you know, as I've witnessed before, sometimes they don't get punished.
I hope the record is not too long in coming.
You hope.
There's Barry taking no prisoners with the questions today. But Arsenal really have thrown away 4 points this week, haven't they, in 3 days?
Well, it must be totally frustrating, because they're playing very, very well, and I'm enjoying watching them. I mean, that's the beauty of their game at the moment. But as Arsene Wenger said, if we keep playing like that, you know, we will get the results. And although they'd be, you know, as I say, frustrated, Leicester City getting the goals today, they had the chances. I mean, first half, some breathtaking football, hitting the woodwork 4 times. You don't do that in a North London derby. Normally, they are tight 0-0s or a 1-0 to somebody, but it was a much more open game, particularly the first half.
We'll look at Ian Wright's performance in a moment, but he's been absolutely vilified in the press this week, hasn't he, after that little skirmish at Leicester on Wednesday, when nobody actually touched anybody else. Do you think they've been over-harsh with him on this particular
I do. I mean, I think
he's got a poor record.
Yes. What you have to say, first of all, is he was stupid to come off the bench. He'd gone off the pitch on that midweek game. Why get involved? But the actual involvement...
Wasn't there anyone who came off the bench, though, was he? I mean, a lot of the Arsenal
there was a whole group of them, and certainly there was nothing in the sort of pictures, really, to suggest the coverage that it's had for the last few days. I mean, he's fed up with the record, and I'm sure we all are talking about it, the Cliff Bassett one, because...
I'm fed up with Cliff Bassett.
Well, because of that, everyone's focusing on him. So whatever he does at the moment, he's blown out of proportion. Again, he's got booked today. The ball was going out, he didn't have to check. But that is Ian Wright. If you take that away from him, Des, he'd be half the player. And so, you know, I still think let him get a goal quickly, and let's get on with saying, you know, his good points rather than the bad ones.
Well, what about his good points today?
Well, his good points was he's still hungry for the goals, even though he can't put the ball in the net at the moment. He had 2 great chances. This is the first. Well, look at this one coming out of the air. His control, which sometimes isn't the greatest, I think has improved under Arsene Wenger. Here he gives it away. He wins the ball back, rolls over, as he typically does, bounces up again, and he's thinking to himself, I could still get a chance out of this, and this is a great chance. That second touch, I think, was the key one. He didn't have to have the second touch. But even in the second half, when Spurs had made their tactical change and it tightened up, he knocked the ball off there, he drifts into the 18-yard box, and overhead, he's still full of confidence, either side of Ian Walker, and he would have had problems, I'm sure, the keeper. But, you know, again, the movement, look, he goes one side, it doesn't come his way, so he turns round. He's offered himself up again the other time, this time on the left foot. Gary Mabbott blocks it. But he's bubbly. Even when he's perhaps not on top of his game, he's always offering himself. And even on this miss hit from David Platt, another great chance. He reacts instinctively. A toe ender, something off his knee, it would have ended up in the back of the net. But he got underneath it, and he's probably thinking to himself, when is this going to end?
Well, the press coverage didn't get him down, certainly. But Jerry Francis made those changes at half-time. He was obliged to do that, really, but it worked for Spurs in the second half, didn't it? They
I mean, Fox and Everton came off, and Gary Mabbutt came on, and of course Alan Nielsen to work in midfield. Campbell, though, was just fantastic for the whole of the 90 minutes for me. I mean, you know, Glenn Hoddle was watching the game, and he must have been ecstatic with his performance to know he's now available. Here you can see it's just bobbled away from Bergkamp. Do I go in on the tackle? He has been booked in the first few minutes, so he stays on his feet, and he's so strong and powerful and brushes Bergkamp off. But the size of defender he is, sometimes you think, well, question marks against his pace. But here you can see Bergkamp is going to get the other side of Scales, but Campbell leaves right, comes across. No fancy down there at the back, he just whacks it away, does his job. And also, I think that is the key, stands on his feet. I mean, here, just caught out the wrong side, but he keeps his balance, nudges it away from Ian Wright, and that was one of the reasons, again, why Ian Wright didn't score today, because Sol Campbell was so outstanding. I think the best tackle we all felt was in the last few minutes. Here, again, he's clipped in, and Elka has come on, just caught out for a minute. Sol Campbell, he tackles, I think, with his wrong leg there, but he stretches out, and even, look, a little toe ender away with his right foot, just in case you're thinking of getting upright and putting the ball in the net. So I thought he was excellent, and I think he's becoming one of our very best defenders we've had for a long time.
But Ian Wright had been stuck teasingly one shy of the Arsenal scoring record for 3 Barron Club games, merely helped build to today's enormous statistical climax. That Arsenal went behind on a day of Highbury history will surely soon be forgotten, except perhaps by Alan Thompson, whose header after 14 minutes brought to fruition Nathan Blake's excellent run and cross. The last thing they'd have to cheer. Thereafter, it was Ian Wright's conversion into officially the Arsenal's most potent weapon. Within 4 minutes, Bergkamp was brushing Bolton aside again. This wasn't his only brilliant run. On the end of it, he deserved to score. Arsenal will miss Dennis Bergkamp in Greece this midweek. He's afraid of flying. So, as if to compensate, he completed a first-half hat-trick of assists right on the break. Ray Parlour's effort catching Jimmy Phillips on the way in. But only one hat-trick concerned the North Bank, in front of which it was duly completed 10 minutes from time. David Platt, recently off the bench, floated it in, and Ian Wright's sense of symmetry insisted that he should end this special afternoon on the maximum 180. Withdrawn late to receive his own special ovation, 5 goals in 4 days, his country's man of the moment, his club's striker of all time.
The Arsenal fans were very excited about it, and I was pleased. You know, I think they're just as relieved as I am, you know, because, you know, everywhere I was going on the street, people were saying, are you going to do it this week? Are you going to? And I really, you know, if I was going to say anything's playing on my mind, I would have liked to have done it here at Highbury. You know, we've had some fantastic times. The fans have been great to me from day one. I know everybody's heard it all before, but I have to say, you know, they've been fantastic, and I think they even sucked the goals in for me today, you know. It's brilliant.
Well, they'd be delighted to get their record out of the way.
Always been a great player, but when strikers get past 30, sometimes they lose a bit of sharpness and a bit of enthusiasm. He's lost none of it, and I tell you what, he's going to play for a few years and he'll score lots more goals.
Is he as good now as he was sort of 5, 6 years ago?
I think he is. I think the way he plays keeps him on the edge, and I think that definitely helps him. And certainly, you know, he can score goals from 2 yards, but he can score exquisite goals as well, you know, where the number of times we've had him in goal in a month where he's had great chips. I think he's got all 2 good feet.
And he's got extraordinary enthusiasm, hasn't he?
Well, I think that's what keeps him going. As I say, once you get past 30, you've been kicked up and down for a few years. You know, sometimes, well, you just get a bit tired of it, but he doesn't seem to be.
Dixon. Left foot clearance, struck short. Papadopoulos. Oh, danger! And a goal! PLK have scored! On the hour! A real danger! Push through, and Arsenal are behind.
Again, Lee Dixon gave the ball away unnecessarily, and instead of the danger being relieved, it came back straight down their throat. There might have been a hint of offside, I'm not sure, we'll have to see that again. But it's going to be a bit hairy now, you can rest assured of that.